Everyone, we're going to open our meeting. 6:17. We have to make the comment about recording too.
Yeah.
I believe LakeCAM is recording. I don't know if there's anyone else here recording. All right, we're going to take things a little bit out of order. We're going to quickly do a reorganization of the board. We have a motion for Mitzi to be the chairman. She'll run the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All right.
All those in favor?
Yeah, well, there's three of us.
All right, excellent. So I apologize, everybody, for being slightly late, traffic and everything like that. And this is a very important meeting, and I'm glad that we're all here today. So what I'm going to do is I need to open the public hearing, which we have, which requires me to do a lot of things, which means I need to read the notice that was published in the newspaper. So I'm going to start with that. So the Town of Lakeville Rent Control Board, pursuant to the rules and regulations for mobile home park accommodations, rents, and evictions. Do we need a
speaker or something?
Something?
Like
I'm going to scream.
Okay.
The Town of Lakeville Rent Control Board, pursuant to the rules and regulations for mobile home park accommodations, rents, and evictions, Section 5.A, will hold a public hearing on an owner petition for rent adjustment filed on May 15, 2008, by the Twin Coach Estates Homeowners Association, Inc. Said hearing will be held at the Lakeville Senior Center, 1 Deer Crossing, Lakeville, Massachusetts, on June 14, 2018 at 6 p.m. In conducting the public hearing, the board shall follow the informal rules set forth 801 CMR 1.00 as they are relevant to these proceedings. The petition and other documents filed in support are available for viewing at the office of the town clerk, 346 Bedford Street, Lakeville, Mass. During regular business hours. Signed, the Rent Control Board, published on June 7th, 2018 in the Middleborough Gazette newspaper. So, that being said, anybody who wishes to speak, just kind of the rules for the hearing, anybody who wishes to speak will need to just be acknowledged by the chair. I'm going to swear in anybody who wishes to speak tonight. So anybody who wishes to speak at all, if you could stand up and identify yourselves, and then we're going to swear you in.
I'm Joanne Kaur. I'm the president of the Homeowners Association at 8 Haskell Circle.
Okay, great. Anybody else going to speak? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to stand. This is the lovely part where we say, do you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excellent. So you are officially sworn in. So I need a motion to open the hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to open the hearing.
I'll second it.
All right, the hearing is open. So at this point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to ask for you to speak just to, I'll give a little bit of background on what we have in front of us, and then if you could kind of speak to that, and then we'll be able to just kind of have the conversation about what you're looking to do here, and we will continue. So we received a request from you as the Rent Control Board that you were looking for a petition for a rent adjustment to increase the rent by $20 per month per unit. And that was made to us and as the Rent Control Board because we had this conversation a little bit a couple years ago when you purchased the property yourselves. If you wanted us to continue having a rent control board, which we act as the rent control board, and even though you own your own property, that still any rent increases have to come through the rent control board at the town of Lakeville and be approved by us. So that's kind of why we're here tonight. So I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to add or ask on here. So that being said, we received a packet from you guys which included financial statements for the past 3 years. We received some budgetary documentation and just what your overall rent increase would be and the allocation to each of the units. So if you want to speak a little bit as to why you're here, I'd be happy to have you speak.
Right. In September of 2017, we had our annual meeting, and at that point in time, we, as a membership, voted to approve the budget for Twin Coach Homeowners Association, and that also included a $20 rent increase. And the purpose of that was to obviously cover some increased expenses, mainly a lot of the utilities and other monthly services that we have that had been increasing their rates. The membership, upon approval, voted that in, and at that point we had to submit our finances into our audit company and had to wait for the audit to be completed before we could process even our application for a rent increase. The membership voted to increase the rent for January 1st to $350 from $330 a month. And because of difficulties in getting the paperwork completed between the time frame of the audit being received and then also multiple attempts to email the forms to Rita, and somehow, even though I'm sitting in her office trying to still email the application, it wasn't going through the town. So the application that you were speaking of, filed May 14th, was actually the application that we started back in January, or late December, actually.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask some clarifying questions too.
Sure.
So the meeting that was held here was the September 9th,
September.
2017 meeting. So I did attend that because we had the police race that was going on at the same time. So I remember coming in after I ran the race, so I was here. But just to kind of find out, what was going on. So at that point, you had decided, based upon your budget going forward, 2017 to 2018, that you needed the rent increase.
Correct.
Have you implemented the rent increase
Correct.
since then?
Because
Okay.
the membership voted to increase the rent as of January 1st.
Okay.
And that also that,
We cannot increase the rent.
we can't, without the membership anyway, so the
Right.
membership voted that in September.
Okay.
The guidelines for us, because we're nonprofit, and also because we are under regulations with our mortgage company, we can also not have a profit margin of greater than 1.12%. And so that was all factored in. ROC is our lender, and they have to actually approve our budget before we can actually submit it to the membership. So ROC approved our budget, and then it went to the membership for their vote.
Okay. So I guess, a couple things that I know I was looking at, we don't really have the budget for 2018 per se. Again, our role is really to say, if you want to do this, it's fine because you own it yourselves. But I know that, the conversation that we had last year, and as I look through your numbers and what you presented, my concern again is that you're going to be back in front of us another time. And it's just a concern that I have looking at the numbers and running the cash flow and seeing where you are. You have 35% of your monthly dues are being paid towards interest on the loan to pay this off. So it's just, giving you a little bit of information about your financials.
So as the board of directors, we also researched with ROC and other homeowners associations that had been under rent control prior and had continued it for the first few years of their existence as homeowners, and had ended up voting to get themselves out of rent control because they themselves are rent controlling. And so we, as a board, voted to take that to the membership, and that went through in May, and the membership voted to continue rent control.
Okay. Okay.
So I just asked, why do they need us?
Yeah. No,
Well, and that's what our point was, that why do we really, and that's what I was trying to communicate to the members, and that, it's a huge application process. It's involving the town, and you guys
A lot
have
of
to
work.
review our paperwork. It's also, a fee that we have to pay. And so if we have to do this every year, it's costing us
Expensive for
money.
you.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing then I feel like I do as a board member here is really just go through the financials and just let you know from a financial perspective where I kind of see you going down the road. The request that you have for, kind of paving, you've got operating costs of about $43,000 more than what they would be last year. I don't know how even this rent increase will cover that based upon what you're paying in your debt service payments, which is your interest and your debt. So I'd like to see a budget,
We are
I
actually, okay, I do actually have a budget. Yeah, she just sent it out. So we have our most up-to-date financial records. Our profit and loss statement.
Attached, I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw that either.
So I hope this trial balance in that this is our most up-to-date one,
I-
our monthly
I am a CPA, so this is like right at home.
Did you notice that?
So our management company does all our paperwork for us and attends our monthly meetings and helps us to understand these financial documents. And we are in good shape this year. We're not making money, that's for sure, but we are able to still continue our budget and are actually in good shape. I think we're only like a few $1,000 under budget currently, but we did have a lot of expenses for trees from all the storms.
Haven't we all?
And so in this past May meeting, we have voted to use some of our reserve money to do the paving and to do tree work, which we're guessing about $75,000 worth of work.
Okay.
Watch this. I've got two experts on either side of me.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that you have going on in those statements right now is your utility costs are significantly lower than what they were anticipated and budgeted in your original budget from the previous
And
year, so that's the one.
our water bill.
Right.
Because our water bill initially on being connected to town water, they had underestimated in our budget from the year before what our water bill would be. And we had a lot of leaks that we had to repair, as well as the over budget water bill. And now our water bill has leveled off. and-
Somewhat stabilized, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that, again,
Rubber stamp.
well, I don't like to rubber stamp anything, honestly. I think that it's important to have the conversation, at least so you know, because you are paying, you have a $1.5 million piece of debt that you have at 6.25%, and, which you may have a hard time getting a better rate, honestly, given, the financing available for the land and the park itself. But you do have a balloon payment that's coming due. So that balloon payment is due, I believe, is it 6 years?
6 years.
So you'll be in a position, in 2023, where you're gonna have to figure out, what that's gonna look like. So I think, as you look to try to add to your reserve fund, clearly you're trying not to raise the rent too quickly for people, but I think, it's important to kind of keep that in mind as you move forward, that, you do have some additional costs. You'll save some money on the utilities, but any additional improvements that you're looking to do, may require another revisit of what you're paying in rent. So,
And I would assume that revisit would happen before the balloon payment. I don't see.
I would assume so too.
yeah, I mean, I'd say,
Because in all honesty, we be refinancing again with Rock.
right.
USA, so,
And the problem is, your back's up against the wall at that point, in terms of what are they gonna give you for the rates? Interest rates are rising. Already, again, you're already paying 35% of your fee in interest,
Right.
but there's not really much that you can do about it right now.
Rock USA is also a nonprofit corporation that is involved heavily in seeking low-cost funding for communities such as ours nationwide now. So they work diligently to receive funds to actually fund us.
Okay.
So their rates are typically much lower than corporate America would charge us.
So do they have a prepayment penalty on
No.
the mortgage?
Prepayment.
I mean, that might be something you want to slightly consider if you wanted to start making additional payments potentially. I mean, there's a lot of financial piece that the board can consider in terms of what you want to do from an overall strategy perspective, but again, that's not necessarily my purview. I just kind of put on my professional hat, and as I look at these numbers, I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of at least what you're involved in. And again, not saying that, it's great, you guys own, the park itself, so you are the owners. But, so our role is in kind of a bizarre situation, but happy to kind of give you a financial update from what I see looking at the numbers. And happy to answer any questions. Of which there are none.
I've never seen
So-
this happen.
So in that case,
I think some of the membership was concerned that this was a new rent increase, and so I think fear got into them.
meaning from what you have already started to
Correct.
establish
And
and
they
have
didn't
been
understand
paid.
the process that,
Okay.
no, the membership is the ones that vote to increase it, and that's done at September 17th meeting.
Well, I mean, technically, is it, again, does it matter?
Does it matter what the board does?
No, it matters what we do.
Yeah, it does.
Because we have to approve it. But, I mean, technically, by charging them before we've had the ability to approve the rent increase, that is probably something in that gray area of, you're not really supposed to do that because we actually are the ones to approve it. So I just would think that, we'd have this meeting probably in, maybe with your annual budget meeting, or as you start to look into your annual budgeting process and you're looking for a rent increase, it kind of does have to come in front of this board. So just from a timing perspective.
Now
So-
that you got the application process down.
Yeah,
I don't know if we got it down yet.
yeah. So apologize for that, but the onerous requirements, but.
So is the requirements, the forms that you have, would it be easier, or would be easier on us if we could just give you the budget that we're approving as well as our profit and loss statements and things like that? Or is it that whole entire legal?
You know?
So I'm just trying to, because it's confusing
Yeah.
to non-CPAs to fill out.
It's a simple
Just so that,
application. It's not that much.
Yeah, I mean, there's, information requested and
Right.
things like that, but unfortunately, that's what we have, and we require and request that information, for purposes of really doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is approving, any increases that
I didn't
go
know if
through.
all that stuff on filling the forms out is actually already included in our documents, our budgeting documents? and
No,
our
we make you
profit
fill,
and
we're
loss?
government, we make you fill out unnecessary paperwork
I'm just
all
trying
the
to
time.
help that, I guess.
That's necessary to us. So, apologize for the inconvenience,
No, it's
but this is kind of what
It's a learning
what
curve.
the membership has requested, that we still continue this process, so.
Right.
So that being said, if we have no other conversation, we'll open it up for discussion on the board. Well, we'll close the floor to public comment, which I think we need a motion.
Motion to, is that again?
I think so.
I'll second that almost.
Perfect.
All those in favor of closing the floor?
Aye.
Okay, now we'll have discussion. Do we have any discussion?
It's not gonna work.
No, I think one thing that should be added is our role in this is to provide a neutral party for some of the people that might dissent, which we have none of here today, which is unusual. No, but, and I think that's probably why the membership chose to continue on, not just oversight, but, like a neutral place for everyone to be able to hash it out. Yeah, so. Honestly,
Done before.
to that,
Yeah.
Easier.
to that ends, I really don't have anything else to add to it, so pretty
Okay.
cut and dry,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they learned from this time, and next time we'll get it done before they do the increase.
Well, we would have had the paperwork in, I guess, if it wasn't an email issue.
It's probably better than getting a bill in the mail saying
That
it's retroactive as of January and
Yeah.
Right.
pay it
That's what
now.
would have happened, would have been retroactive.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay,
So why don't you make your motion to approve it retroactively to when they actually put it into effect?
all right.
Make a motion to approve it retroactively till January.
I second that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the rent increase has been approved. At this point,
You can go watch Jeopardy.
so we have a couple more things on the agenda. You can hang around for it. Very exciting things like voting to approve the minutes and talking about new business and old business, of which we generally
Don't
have
have any.
none. So,
What's going in across the street from us?
I was like, is that a question?
Let's be on that scope.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes as of December 21st, 2015.
I will second it.
I have to abstain.
All right.
You were there.
That's right.
So all those in favor?
Maureen?
Aye.
Did you abstain?
She
I did.
abstained.
I'm on it.
New business?
I have none.
Old business? Like really old business? Any other business?
None.
You want to talk about what's going across the street? I don't know. Oh, that's Derek's. Those are the Form A lots.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring that up.
Nope, okay.
That's not a bad
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
So when we fill out the application,